Today we will be making Oobleck, which is a chemical engineering project. For this, you'll need cornstarch, about 1/4 cup, some water, a small bowl, and make sure you have your activity kit nearby. Open to page 16 because after we do the Oobleck, we will be going through the activity booklet questions. Also, if you have long hair like me, make sure you tie your hair back because you don't want it to get in the middle of your Oobleck. Now that we're ready to go, all we're gonna do is pour all of our cornstarch into the small bowl. When I pour it in, it looks like that. And then you're gonna add just a little bit of water. Don't add too much because if you do add too much water, water dissolves cornstarch and you do not want that to happen for this experiment. When you've added your water, go ahead and stir it in the bowl. This is what my Oobleck looks like after adding a little bit of water. It's not quite the consistency we want, so I'm going to add just a little bit more water. When your Oobleck is done, it should be about this texture. Now that we've made our Oobleck, we're gonna go through and do the activity booklet questions. So if you wanna do the questions by yourself, go ahead and pause the video and come back after you've completed the questions to check your work. The first question says, after making your Oobleck, describe the properties it has. Anytime something asks you to describe the properties of an object, you always wanna turn to your 5 senses. For this though, you only wanna use touch, smell, and sight because those are the only 3 main senses that we will be using since you cannot taste or hear Oobleck. The next questions deal with the vocabulary words for this experiment: solid, liquid, and gas. Before you move on to these questions, make sure you understand what these are. A solid has a rigid shape and volume, and therefore it cannot be changed or molded without extreme force. Examples of solids are Legos, sunglasses, and tools. A liquid has a constant volume but takes the shape of the container it is placed in. Liquids include things like water, smoothies, and hand sanitizer. A gas has no constant volume or shape, and the particles float around freely. An example of a gas is air because it floats around all over the earth. Now that we know what a solid, liquid, and gas are, we can go ahead and complete the question. The first one tells you to squeeze the Oobleck in your hand. So So go ahead and squeeze it. Does it behave like a solid, liquid, or gas? Mine forms a hard ball in my hand, meaning that it acts like a solid. The next question asks you to open up your hand so that there's no pressure on the Oobleck. So go ahead and open it up. Mine turns back into a liquid and begins to run into the container. This means that it is behaving like a liquid. Would you categorize Oobleck as a solid, liquid, or gas? Or could it be multiple of these? The truth is, this is a trick question because Oobleck acts as both a solid and a liquid when placed under various amounts of pressure. The last question says, chemical engineers study the chemical makeup of different items and engineer new chemical solutions that they know will perform a certain way. If you could engineer a chemical to do anything you wanted, what would you have it do? This is an open-ended question, so basically anything is acceptable. If you come up with a really cool chemical that does something awesome, go ahead and have your parents record a video of you explaining what it is and what it does and send it to me. Thank you so much for participating and making Oobleck, and have a nice day.